I think in-flight fills the gap in a very premium audience's consumer journey. I think the environment is very appealing and very good for brand support. However, it is expensive and it is immeasurable.
I think obviously now in the digital age with increasingly more accountable media, there's also a lack of any tracking or any really accountability to who you've actually reached. And I think often people perceive the luxury industry to be completely, negate any of those really important factors, but that's absolutely not the case. I think even more so, it's important to understand who we're reaching.
So I think it should play a more important role than it does. I think often in-flight marketing is, or can be, that sort of nice to have at the bottom of the marketing mix, probably because it's not really seen as that accountable. It can be seen as fairly generic against a very broad target audience.
The magazines tend to be perhaps a little tatty, and the in-flight has no frequency cap. And I think the last thing that we ever want to do as a luxury brand is to irritate a consumer. And if you can only ever serve the same ad over and over again, I don't feel that that's a particularly positive environment.
The strengths are there's a captive audience, a lot of downtime for them. Again, the frame of mind, the environment, very good.
I'd say the strengths are a captive audience. I mean, you can't really get more immersive, and currently at least with no Wi-Fi or limited Wi-Fi on airlines, that's a real benefit. Although I have to be honest, I think at the moment there's more negatives or not so positives. So I mentioned before that there's a lack of accountability, lack of tracking, lack of a truly engaging format. I don't think it's moved on in the same way as every other media has. It hasn't really taken the advantages that digital platforms offer and moved with that.
We need to say at the moment there's a lack of transparency. For every dollar invested, what is the return on investment? Where does it go? How do brands engage with it?
So I think the key failure at the moment is, as an industry, the ability to take all of that data, and increasingly real-time data, and deliver the right message, the right creative to the right person based on a seat that they're pretty much sat in from anywhere from an hour to 7-8 hours. If you put yourself in my client's point of view as a brand, they're really after two things. They're after ROI, so against other media, when I'm investing X amount of dollars in this particular placement, what am I getting in return versus my advertising online or my advertising on mobile? And I think the other thing they want is innovation. We're constantly pushed now by our clients for innovative media placements, and I think we're really running out of innovative places outside of mobile and tablet now, and I think the airline, the cabin in particular, is a place where you potentially, if you put together the kind of data and the creative, you can deliver something quite innovative to a sector that really is not something that is known for innovation at all.
In an ideal world, I'd like to see the data that the airlines have on every person who walks on that plane married to the advertising experience that they experience whilst they're on board. So understanding where the person has come from, where they're going to, how often they've flown, what class, of course, what content they consumed last time they were on board. All of that data could be harnessed for us to deliver a better advertising experience. So really harnessing the power of data, I think, is really crucial.
So I think from a client point of view, if you're telling me that actually we can hit a specific individual that you know is that individual with the message that I absolutely want to deliver that person for this price, I actually don't think price is necessarily really going to come into it.
I think if you could offer some kind of service where you can use up your own devices to access content, it feels more intuitive to the consumer's behaviours currently. And obviously for an advertiser, it's a more beautiful and an interactive experience that we could deliver to them.
From and foremost is, can you cover the key markets that we want? Secondly is, can you deliver what we need you to deliver? And from what I've seen, it looks very interesting. So you've got scale, and can you deliver it? And innovation is probably the third pillar.
It has a very good digital blend and metrics and results which you can compare against other digital media.
And what you're proposing is very interesting and innovative, but grounded in data. We're not fans of sort of woolly propositions that we can see through immediately. So anything that is scalable, that can deliver us ROI and is grounded in data, is always going to be a winning formula for our clients.
I think it's great. I'm really excited by it. I think that there's an awful lot of opportunity. Like I say, you know, it's actually finally getting in flight to move in step with the rest of the industry. And there's no shadow of a doubt that the ability to pre-segment audiences based on the class of travel they are travelling in is an obvious opportunity. But I think in the past there hasn't been a high enough quality of media that's available. So if you can do everything we're talking about, then I'm very excited about it.